So I've been hesitant on making a video on nihilism for the longest time, in concern of the possibility it could leave a negative impact on my viewers. When I make these videos, for the most part, I want people to feel good about themselves after they've watched it. I'm not trying to give people an existential crisis from the idea that life is meaningless, which is what nihilism is by definition. However, after doing more research on it, I've realized there are tons of benefits that can be gained from understanding what it truly is at its core. It isn't what I thought it was, and it isn't what most people think it is, a gateway to depression, but is instead something more helpful and uplifting, which may sound backwards to the average viewer. How could nihilism possibly be useful? Well, to help me explain, I'll be analyzing one of the best South Park episodes ever made, Raisins. In this episode, Stan gets his heart broken when his girlfriend, Wendy, breaks up with him. He falls into an instant state of depression and sees no point in continuing living life. His one-itis illness gets exposed in more ways than one. He tries everything in his power to win her back. He tries getting his friends to talk to her, getting her friends to talk to her, playing outdated music in her front yard, etc. So when nothing works, he resorts to hanging out with these goth kids. And to no disrespect, these kids have some of the darkest, depressing, and demoralizing beliefs about life. Stan immediately gets brainwashed by their toxic negativity and becomes one of them.
But if life is only pain, then what's the point of living?
See, I used to think nihilism is this dark theory that everything is ultimately pointless, therefore it all sucks, so why even bother with life? But now I realize how ridiculous that notion sounds. It's the mindset that we revert to in order to prevent future disappointments. We don't give life a chance, we lose hope, and perhaps even revert to self-destructive behavior. The Internet Encyclopedia of Psychology gives a general idea on the matter. A true nihilist would believe in nothing, have no loyalties, and no purpose other than, perhaps, an impulse to destroy. Now, I'm not rejecting nihilism as a belief. In fact, I think there's some truth behind it. However, I do have some counter-arguments against it. For instance, if life is meaningless, then what's the point in destroying things? What's the point in hating and judging people? What's the point in criticizing and shaming the world? Going based on the average nihilist point of view, that would also have no purpose or meaning. Another point I will add is, why is there this bias towards negativity? Life can be meaningless, but that doesn't have to be sad or depressing. In fact, it can be a beautiful thing. Here's a fun analogy I came up with. Think of life like the ultimate virtual reality video game. Everything that happens in video games is ultimately pointless, but at the same time, it isn't, if that makes any sense. We have fun with video games while being self-aware of the fact that it's an illusion, and that's something that characters like these fail to realize. Stan isn't the only simp in this episode. Butters catches feelings for this girl who works at this Hooters bootleg ripoff called Raisins. She pretends to like him and manipulates his lustful desires for money. After he literally falls in love with her, he gets hit with a harsh dose of reality when she rejects him in public. Just like Stan, Butters falls into an instant state of depression. The goth kids show up to try and get him to join their clan, but he instead shocks them with his profound attitude towards life.
I'm sad, but at the same time I'm really happy that something can make me feel that sad. It makes me feel alive, you know? It makes me feel human.
When we fall into depression, we automatically assume that either there's something wrong with us, there's something wrong with our life, or there's something wrong with the world. But what kind of book, what kind of movie, what kind of story is all sunshine and rainbows? To write an interesting, compelling, and captivating story, you need conflicts. You need some type of adversity for the characters. Epictetus, an ancient philosopher who spent his life preaching about the value of stoicism, once said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them." That's one of my favorite quotes of all time because it helps you see a particular situation in a new light. You finally see the value in sadness, frustration, and depression. You realize you can be sad and not hate life. You can be sad and learn something new about you, your situation, or the world. You can be sad and love the fact that you're sad. As Butters puts it, it's like a beautiful sadness. His inspirational speech motivates Stan to slow down with his negative outlook on life and to instead move forward, even if it comes at the cost of leaving himself vulnerable to heartbreak, rejection, or disappointment.
Yeah, it still hurts a lot, but I just realized that there's gonna be a lot of painful times in life, so I better learn to deal with it the right way.
I like to think of nihilism as another word for detachment. It helps me let go of something that's bothering me and helps me see that in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. Famous rapper J. Cole once said in one of his dopest songs, "Love Yours," "There's beauty in the struggle." So remember, if something doesn't go your way, you fail at something, or you get rejected in public, it's okay. It doesn't mean anything, and that's what makes it okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed. Just real quick, I want to give a big thanks to all my loyal Patreon supporters. Just something as small as $1 really helps the channel out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to let me know your thoughts on nihilism. I would love to hear them.